Hello guys, welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. In this video, it's going to be series 3 for our Blazor e-commerce project. What you see on the screen here is what we did for the 2 series. We created products, categories, product details, and we added this product that you can see. Now, if I click on any of the products, I go to product details and you can see I have the details over here. And the price it is reduced. We have a new price, the number of in stock, and as you can see from here, quantity that you want to buy, and add to button. Okay, so if you want to add to cart, click on this add to cart button over here. Now if we go to product here, you can see manage product, and I can add product here. You can add product as well, and also you can manage or update products. So you can see we have delete. And if I click on any of these, delete this product, I click, are you sure you want to delete this? Then I click on OK, and you can see as soon as it gets deleted, you can see it is off. Also from category, you can add, update, and delete category as well. These are the current categories that you can see, and that's what you see here. Now you can also add category. You select passing the category name and choose the image. Now these are the categories listed here, but currently if I click on this category, nothing happens here. So that's what we're going to do first. So first we are going to create a category service for this product. But before we do that, you see that now category and the product must have a relationship. So you know what I'm going to do? Let's go to our source code here, and I want us to delete our migration here because we want to start afresh and create the migration as well. So that is what I want to do. Now let's go to product service. Now the data folder from the server project migrations, I'm going to delete that. Yeah, so delete migration. And also I go for the SQL Server Object Explorer. Now the database that I have created, I'm going to delete that as well because I'm going to start everything afresh over here with the database migration, because I'm going to create a relationship between 2 tables, 2 models. Yeah. So let's wait for the refresh to be done. Then we try to delete the database. So server, open it, SQL Server, expand it, and last one, it is over here. Maybe you know how to locate yours. So locate it, and we're going to delete the database. Open that folder, and the database that we are using here is e-commerce demo for YouTube. So I'm going to delete this database. So close on existing connection and click on OK. So this means that all product that we have here is going to be deleted. Now database is gone. So first of all, let's close all this, and we are going to create connection here. So I'm going to close all tabs, and we are going to create a relationship here. So let's go to the service model. That's a product project dot shared project. Okay, so we go to that section, and categories, you want to create one to many or many to one. Now one category, you want to have it as a list of products. So one category may have a list of products, but each product is going to have one category. So this is what we're going to do. Let's create relationship. So this, we are establishing what relationship here. So 1 to, so here is going to be one to many relationship. So in order to do that, this is what we can do here. Now prop, then here we pass it as list, then list of products, then we can name this as products. That is a relationship, and it is one to many. We can set this as now. We save that, and now let's go to the other one here, and that's going to be the product. Now product here is also going to be one product. So we establish also a relationship, and the name of that relationship here it is, so one here it is for product. So we're going to make it as many product, or one product is going to be one category as well. Okay, or going to be many product to category. So here going to be many to one or one to many, the same thing as well. Okay, so one to many or many to one. Now in order to establish that a prop, then we're going to create a category here. So there's a category, passing category, and I'm going to make here as category. Let's declare this as nullable, and also I'm going to pass in as category ID. So that's going to be category ID. Okay, so that is the relationship that we talking about. Now we are done with this. We can save this, and now let's start our migration again. So go to package manager console and let's start. Now you can see we are going to put the output in a folder known as data in our server project, and we're going to create a folder in the data folder known as migrations. So Solution Explorer, in our server project, you see we have a folder known as data. That's what we're going to pass and we're going to store our migrations in. So let's see. So let's clear screen, then add migration. Then the name of that migration is initials. So initials, and there's the output. So data folder, open it and I'll set it as migrations. Put it in a folder called migrations. So let's wait while the folder or the migration is being processed. So as you can see now, the migration is done. So let's update database. So this is going to run queries for us by creating all the necessary tables that we need. So that is it, and going to establish the relationship as well. So both succeeded. Now let's wait and see. Alright, so you can see now it is done. So let's go ahead and now start to create some categories in the project. Now let's run this project here. Alright, so let's add category and see. So here I'm going to make it as maybe computers. I'm going to select an image here. So here I'm going for computers. Yeah, and this is the first category. So create, and let's wait. So category created. Now let's choose another one. So let's add 2 categories for now. So after computers, we can also add bags here. So let's also add this as bags. Okay. Now when you refresh application, we have computers and bags. So these are the categories that we have now. Okay. Now let's say, so if I click on computers, I must have computers, isn't it? But first of all, let's add product. But before we add product, I want us to, let's go to the product here. Now category ID, let's set this to 1. So initial value is 1. Let's see. Now let's refresh this folder. So this is the database. Now we opened its tables. So let's wait while the table loads. Then we want to open the category or in the product folder. So let's open product table. Open this table. And also we have to open the category table as well. So let's wait. Okay, now let's open the category table too. Okay, so you can see from here we have category 1 and 2. That is the ID is 1 and 2. 1 is for computers. So product, we have no product here. Now let's go in there and add. So we've set default product here as what? 1. So it means we have to add computers here. So let's go ahead and now manage product. So add product. Now let's choose a product name. So here we are going for computers and desktop. So I'm going to pass in here. Maybe here going to be an HP. So HP laptop. Okay. Let's give it any sample name as well. So the price here. Quantity. So create. Alright, so you can see now it is now created. So we are going to add one more. So I'm going to go offline and add a lot, so I'll come back and move on. So you can also do it in that way. So hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, so I have added some things over here. As you can see, I have all this as computers. Now I'm going to go back and add so here these are all computers. Now let's go back here, and the product I'm going to change here to 2 for, and I'll save that. And when I come to the product here, 2 is for, that is for bags, right? So let's add the bags here. So products here, add product. Now there is bags, so choose products here. I'm going to add bags. So the first one here is ladies. So portable, yeah, I'm going to copy this. Price is 78.88 and 68.99. Yeah, I'm going to paste this. Quantity, paste it. So good. I'll go offline and create more too and come back. Okay. Alright, so I've added few, and let's see. Okay, so I have these products here, and that's what currently we have in our project. Now if I click on computers, I must have only computers, and if I click on bags, I must only have bags. So let's go in there and create a category service and implement that. So we go to our project here, and we go to the servers first. Now we see from the product repo, product repo, let's copy one of these here. Let's copy and paste this. And now here we're going to make it as get products by category. Now here's going to be string URL. So we're going to use a string for that. So string URL. And now let's copy this name. Let's go to the product repo. And now in here, this is what you want to do. So you can actually, let's paste this. Let's copy this and paste it. Now let's cut this here. Let's cut this and paste it here. And now this is going to be a string, and here it's going to be URL. So string URL. So we got this, and so await, we are going to get this. We don't actually need any of this. So this is what we can do. Let's see, let's use get products. So do you have get product method? This is okay. So get product method, let's use this instead. So let's use this, and now let's remove all these. Okay, let's paste this. So we create a response out of this service model, and there is the product. So we can actually take this off, because so we can use this to check if string is not equal to now. That is what you want to perform this operation. Okay, now get product, and here let's change get product. And now with this product, we're going to use where now p max to p dot category dot URL is equal to the URL coming in dot to lower, then dot to or dot replace. Let's replace all space by this dash. Then we are grabbing to list async. Okay. Alright, so that is it. Now you call product and we store it here. So this is going to be product list is equal to this product. Then that's all. So this is the only thing that we need to do here. And here we are getting product whereby they have the category URL as the URL that is coming in. Very simple. Okay. And that's what we are doing here. So you can start to make it short like this. So we get our product which has a category URL equal to the one coming in. Here we convert it to lower and replace it with this in case it has a space in it. But if it doesn't have space, then this is not going to work. Okay, we just replace it to lower and we move on. Let's go in there and create our controller to render this service to us. So go to the controllers folder, and in the product controller we are going to add that. So let's copy what we have here. I want us to copy this where we have the HTTP GET method. So let's copy this and let's paste this here. Now this, it is not here, it is known as category, and this category you're going to make it as URL. But this is not an integer, it's rather string. So here it's going to be string and URL. And let's go in there and delete this product ID. So we can copy this and we paste it here. Let's take this off. Now dot get products by category. That's all. Now let's run this project and see if the API is working. Then we can now move on. So let's see, it is refreshing. But here, let's copy this, open a new tab. You paste it, and here use the Swagger. We use Swagger to check. So it is now loading. Yeah, it is ready now. So let's see, category by URL. Let's try this out. Let's pass in computers. And do you have computer? It is now. So computers. Let's see. Alright, so see we have a list of these are all computers. Let's see for bags. So bags, and you can see we have a list. These are all bags. So our API is actually working perfectly for us. Now let's go in there and create a service to render this API into the client. Okay, so let's see. Now we go to Solution Explorer. Now in the client project, you see we have services here. So iProduct service. We do it here, and now with the iProduct service we are going to create an interface first. So let's copy one of these here, and that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this. Let's paste it here. Now here this is going to be string here, and this is URL. Okay, so I'll go in there and copy this name. I'll come here, just paste it. Very simple. We are done. Let's go to the implementation and let's see what we can do here. So product services. Now I want us to copy one of these. So let's see, get async. Let's use this. Let's paste this. And this is what you want to do. So let's go here and I'll copy exactly the same thing here. That's the name. We paste it. So products. And now we are going for category. That is the route. Okay, we pass in URL. Now in order to make this as a variable, let's go in there and use a $sign to initialize this. Whoa, $sign, where are you? Okay, so that is it. Now return the results when we have it. Now this is, here must be a string URL. Yeah, that is it. Let's go to our projects and see what we can do here to render this. And first of all, what you have to do here is, you see, when you go to the nav menu, when you click on each of these, it navigates to the home, and now passing this model, that's the URL as a string. So the right thing that we have to do is go to the product service. You know, this product razor, it is our home. So here, let's also specify page, and we specify it as it is receiving URL. This is the parameter, so let's indicate the parameter here. So parameter Yep. And now we set it public, so string, and it is URL. Don't forget about it. If it is lowercase, uppercase, no worry, it's gonna work. Now we have get and sets. Okay, let's initialize it as string dot empty. Where is the empty? So string dot empty. Yeah, and it's a parameter here, so it's going to pass, this is going to receive that parameter from the nav menu. Now when it gets it, it means parameter has now changed. So let's use the page cycle method, and that's known as the parameter set async. So when the parameter is changed, let's see, so if when it is changed and URL is not equal to now, then we want to get this. So we want to get, here must be an async task. Now if parameter is not equal to now, this is what we want to do. So we set service model is equal to, is it await product service? So product service YU, and that is it, dot get product by category. Then we pass in this URL, the parameter that it has changed. That is when product is not equal to now. But if it is now, then this is what you want to do. Let's just copy this. You can also create method here and utilize this method or call this method here. But for now, let's maintain what we have here. That is it. Now let's save, let's run this application and see what's going to happen. As soon as I click on computers, what should happen? I should get the exact product related to the computer. So let's run this. Now in here, right click, and let's go to inspect element or F12 to developer tool, and now let's click on this network. So let's see the network, the service that's going to call, and let's see. So it is now rendering. Now let's see. So as soon as it renders, we have product, and that is the response. So this is the list of product that we have here. Now if I go to, or if I go to and click on this computer, see what happens here. Now because I have computers here, and this is a list of computers. Now let's see, if I click on bags, I have bags here, and that's the list of bags that we have. Let's close this, and now let's see. So see, all these are bags, computers, they are computers. If I click on home, I get all computers and all bags. Very simple. Yeah, that is it for this category. So we're able to create and implement a category service. Now the next video, we're going to talk about how do you add cart service. So let's go out for break, and yeah, we'll go out for break to just take some water, and when we return, we're going to move on with creating a cart service. If I want to add to cart, is it possible? We talk about that. Alright guys, so welcome back to the next lesson, that is lesson 2, and in this lesson we are going to talk about create to cart or cart service. How do you add the product to cart? How do you get the whole item that has been added to cart, populate it, and get it to the user in the cart component? That is what we are going to talk about in this lesson. So let's go straight ahead and do it. Now we see this, if I click here, if I go to product detail, that is where I have the add to cart button. Okay, I have quantities here. Now if I pass in here as 0 and click on add to cart, you can see it's not valid unless I pass in a quantity more than 1 now, or 1. Now if I pass in 11, let's see, still it won't work because the quantity for this is 10. Now I'm passing 11, so it means that what you are buying, it is more than what we have in stock. Is it possible? No, it is. So we can't do it. That is why we have the same error here. But as soon as I pass in more than that or equal to, nothing happens here. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to create a cart model to add a product to cart. Now this is what we're going to do. We're going to use a local storage from the client browser. Now we want to store all the products to the local storage so we can have the product info from database. Now we can store the whole product name, ID, price and everything in the client storage. Look, that's the local storage or the browser's memory. But in case we put it over there and the person go in there and tries to change it, you could see that it's going to cause a problem to our system. So what we're going to do here is we're going to store the product ID and the client quantity, what he wants. We store only that, the ID and the quantity. So we grab the ID and now we go to database and call a service to render the information from that product and give it to us. So it's secured, right? Than just putting the whole data, name and price, everything to local storage. If a person who knows it go in there and now tries to change it, it's going to cause a problem. Okay, so let's see. Now, in order to do this, the first thing you have to do here is let's go to Solution Explorer. Now, in DTO, that's a share project. Right click on the details folder and now let's add a class known as my cat model. So here, cat model, my cat model is going to be a class. So let's add a name as my cat model. So my cat model. Now this cat model or this model is going to hold only two properties. That is the product ID and the user quantity. Only that. So let's wait, and here going to be public. So we set here as PRP, the tab key, and this is product ID, and also you want user quantity. Yeah, only this. So control plus period, remove all unnecessary usings, close it. Okay, so let's go to the product details. Now when I go to product details and decide to add a product to cart, what should happen? That is what you want to do. But first of all, let's create a service to render that. Okay, now with this service, let's go to the client project, and now the service here, right click, let's add a new folder and we're going to make it as cart service. So within the cart service folder, we're going to create repository. That's the interface. Let's add a folder first. So cart services. Now let's create an interface in this. So add new item, and you're going to choose an interface, and this is going to be iCart service, and we have to add an implementation because you know that an interface goes with what implementation. So let's create an implementation class as a model, and it's going to be cart service. So cart service, yeah, you know, with this cart service it is going to inherit from this iCart service, right? Okay, so we can create a constructor for this. So let's generate a constructor here. Now let's go to iCart service, and that's what you want to do. So we create a task, and this task is add to cart. So this add to cart is by my cart model, and we give it a name object as my cart model. Very simple. Now let's go to my cart service, control plus period. Let's implement the interface here. Implement interface. And now this is coming in here. So this is what we are going to do. Now we check. First of all, let's have variable as my cart is equal to, let's inject local storage service. So and the name here is local storage. Now if you are not having this, go to click here. Then within the client project, right click on dependencies, and now click on manage NuGet package, and now we are going to install Blazor local storage by Crescenti. So click on the browse and now install this Blazor local storage, and the one who did that is a Crescenti. So let's see. So Blazor local storage, yeah, so that's the first one. Blazor local this by Crescenti, so you can download that, and when you're done with it, you go to clients project. You can see we have products program.cs. Now go in there and add this. So builder.services, dot add Blazor local storage. Yes, so let's add this. We save that, and now we are good to go. So we come to this and we inject this. So control plus period. Let's create an assigned field to this. So I'll create an assigned field. So it is now ready to be used. Now we go for await, then local storage dot get item async. So this is going to be a list of my cat model, and the name that you want to use is my cat. So get this data from the local storage, that's the client browser. So we check if my cat is equal to null. It means if my cat doesn't exist, then my cat, we create new, is equal to new list of my cat model. So if it doesn't exist, then we create it. But if it exists, then that's what we want to do. Now if this cat is not equal to null, then we're going to check. Okay, we're going to check already that is the cat found in the database or in the client local storage already. Is it there? Because maybe you can decide to add the same product and add the same product again. No, we don't want to do that. One product at a time. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Now if cat is equal to null, create this, and here we are going to, if this cat is not null, that's what we have indicated here. Okay, so let's see if my cat, no, not this. So if my cat model, if my cat model is not equal to null, meaning there's data there. So if it is null, then that's what you want to do. So if it is null, meaning if that product is not found, then we are going to add this. Okay, so let's see how I'm going to do this. You can see this is holding a list. So we have this over here. So we can say that my cat dot add then my cat model. Now after adding, let's store it to local storage. So await local storage dot set item async. Now this async, the name is my cat. As you know, it's over here, my cat, and the object that you want to set here, it is say my cat. Then let's inject JS runtime. So IJS runtime. So let's inject this, control plus period, create an assigned field. So let's see. Now let's see over here. Now let's await, or let's display. So await JS runtime dot invoke void async. So this is an alert. Now this alert, we want to display product. Okay, so product added to cart. That is when it is added. Now if product is found, okay, then let's see. If product is found already, then this is what you want to do. If this product, or if this cart model is, you see what you're doing, you're doing a mistake here, right? Because if this cart model is null, it means nothing here. Then you want to display something like, so let's cut this instead. Let's paste this here. Then if it is, you can decide to, if it is null, so alert product cart. So product cart cannot be null. Yeah, cannot be null or cannot be empty. Okay, so that is when there's no product ID, when there is no product or user quantity, and the button is clicked. You want to display to the user that the product card cannot be empty. But if product card is not equal to null, that is where we have to make a search and see. Okay, so here we are going to make a search, so we create a var item is equal to my cat dot find or first or default. Okay, that is p max to p dot product id is equal to my cat model that is coming in dot product id. So my cat model dot product id. So let's make that correction. My cat model dot product id. Now if item is not equal to null, it means that item is found. Then if it's not equal to null, then we want to update it. So let's cut this here. Else, if it is null, then we add it to the cart. But if it is not null, then we want to update it. So item, let's remove it. So my cart dot remove, then let's remove this item. Very simple. After removing, let's add this. So my cart dot add, then my cart model. Okay, so remove it first, remove what you have in the cart, then add a new one. When you are done, set the new one. So set it at the local storage. So let's copy this and set this. Then say that product updated done. Okay, so we save this. Now let's try this and see. So once you have this service created, we have to render this service to the user. But before that, let's see. Let's go to the first. Let's add this. Let's create under program.cs file dependency injection. So builder dot services dot add scope. Now this add scope is cat service and this cat service. So dependency injection has been created. Now let's go to the product and render the service to it. Now we go to the product detailed dot razor. So product detailed dot razor. Now in here you could see that a method is called add to cart service, and then we have what? The product ID. And also we can see we have another variable that holds the quantity here. So we have the quantity and we have the product ID. So we are good to go. Now when that button is clicked, this we create var, so new my cart model. Okay, so it's supposed to be var my cart model is equal to new my cart model. Okay, so let's open like this way. Now product ID is equal to this product ID coming in. Now this product ID, so product ID. Aside from that, we have quantity. So user quantity is equal to the quantity coming in. So that is it. Now when we are done, we call for await. Let's inject a cart service on top here. So at inject cart service, and that is cart service. So control plus period. Let's use this. So this is what we're going to do. When it gets added, let's cut this, and now let's go to the import.razor, that is this, and now add it here because we'll be using it often. So let's save it, add it here once and for all so we can use it. Now you have iCat service over here, as you can see, and we have the object here as cat service. Now when we come down here, so await cat service dot add to cat. Now this is requesting a model known as my cat model. So you pass in that my cat model. Very simple. Okay. Now let's save this. Let's wait for application to run, and let's see what happens here. So let's see. Let's wait for it to get refreshed. Then we are going to open our local storage. So go to developer tools and or press F12, and I go to application, and you can see we have reload this, and you can see we have my cat here. So I'm going to clear this off first. Okay, now it is now loading, so let's wait for it to load and see. Good. So now it is open. Now if I decide to click on, let me delete 1, passing empty, invalid, 0. So if I pass in 1 here, see what happens. Now add. So product added to cart. Now watch here, you can see it is added. Now if I click on it, you can see I have the product ID and the user quantity. Now if I decide to update this to 7, see what happens here. So product updated, done, and see what happens. Now if I open it, because the quantity it is 7, so it is done now. Now let's go in there and add another product. So let's go to home. Let's add this computer too. Now we are buying 3 as well, so let's add to cart. Done, and we see 2 added here. So user product ID is 5, quantity is what, 3. Let's add 1 more, and that's going to be a bag here. So this hot red bag, you're going to pass maybe 5 and add to cart. So it is added. Next we have 3 products here. Good. So now, but as you can see, there's no indication. We have nothing here to indicate or to tell us the number of items that we have in our cart, or where to locate or where to navigate to our cart. And let's see, that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. Okay, so here you're going to go for break. When we return, you're going to work on that. Alright guys, so welcome back. This is lesson 3. Now this lesson, in the previous video you can see that we're able to add product to cart, but there's no indication here. There's no button, nothing here to indicate the number of items that we have in our cart, and that is what we are going to do in this video. So let's start ahead and let's go straight to it. Now as you can see from here, let's first go to our products. That is our project. Now let's navigate to the client project and the shared folder, and in the shared folder main layout.razor. Here we want to add a button on top. Now this button, let's first create a div and the class here. Let's say pattern is 3. So in this, let's create a button. Now the class for this button, btn, let's use outline danger. Okay, outline danger, and position, let's set this as what, relative. Then let's use this. So let's close this, open it, and now here let's set a span, and this class you're going to use an OI cat. So this is just a span, an icon that you want to use. Now aside from this icon, let's write here as cat. Let's go down and add a span, and this span, the class that you want to add here, first let's say position absolute, then let's set stop at 0, then let's say start at 100, then we say translate middle, and here this is badge, and the type here it is rounded pale. Let's set BG color to what, danger, and maybe margin top as 1. So that's our span tag. the next one, let's go to the end. And you know, with the bootstrap, to do this we have to also set a span, and there is a class. We are not using Blazor, so span, and that is a class here. So we say visually hidden. Now we set this as unread message. Let's save this and see what happens here. So we save this. Now let's see, let's wait for it to be refreshed and see. Alright, so you can see we have this button here, and that's the button that you can see from the screen. But let's see, we have this position as absolute, top it's 0, we have start as 100, translate as middle, and the type here it is badge. The type is rounded peel, BG danger, and the margin top is 1. Okay, so in here we can decide to pass in, let's decide to pass in 4 and see what happens here. So let's save this. Now let's move this inside here. Now let's save this. Okay, so you can see we have this one on top here, and this is going to alert us to know the number of items that we have in a cart. Okay, so by this is just a dummy test that I have passed on. So let's go in there and I'll create the actual one. Now to do this, let's go to the cart iCart service, and you have to create an event. So event, and the type is action, and the name is what? Unchanged. Then we have int count. So we have int count here. Now let's say it cannot be let's say public int count. Okay, so let's set this public int count, but you can just take this public, and here it's going to be get and set. Let's clear this. Okay, so we save this and we go to the cart service. So control plus period. Let's implement the interface that we have here. Now that is the interface, and let's decorate this well. Okay, now in here, this is what you want to do. We have an count here. Okay, so when this is added, now watch here, when this is added, this is what you want to do. So if product here, okay, so let's say that is a closing. Okay, now we check if product my cart is not equal to now. So if it is not equal to, or if it is equal to now, we state this. But if it is not, so at the end here, let's see, so what we have this, that is a if else. Okay, so at the end here we want to get count. This count is equal to await local storage dot get item async, and this is going to be a list of my cart model. So let's put all of this in the bracket so we can have the count option. So dot count, let's see, dot, do you have the count? Is it working now? So get item async, list my cart model, and now here we must specify my cart. Okay, so dot, then you see we have count option. Okay, so when we have this count option, the next step that we can take here is we are going to subscribe, or let's create an event here, and that is an unchanged dot invoke. So let's invoke this. Okay, so we have to let's invoke this. Okay, now let's go in there, and once you invoke this, it seems like this event is going to be broadcasted. Now when it is broadcasted, we have to subscribe to this event. Now when we subscribe, the particular product or the particular component which are subscribed is going to be refreshed. Then aside from after refreshing, we unsubscribe to the event that has been broadcasted. So let's navigate to the main layout here, and now let's implement. So at implement, let's implement. Oh, so that is it. Implement. Yeah, so disposable. Now here, this is what you're going to do. So you create code, then we have an override method. So when parameter changes, we use an override async. So async, what is it? Okay, so override async. And now when the page loads, you want to, so let's inject cat service as well. So at inject iCat service, and that is a cat service. Now this cat service, let's subscribe. So await, or you can just set it as cat service, okay, dot onChange. So plus equal to, so we are subscribing, state has changed. Now as soon as you subscribe to this, it's going to render the application, so state has changed. Now as soon as you subscribe and get the page refreshed, let's unsubscribe. So we go for public void, and that is dispose. And what you've done here, you copy the same thing. Now instead of I subscribe, we are going to subtract to subscribe. That's a very simple thing. And now here we have to add an async task. Okay, so we add this. Now we save this, and now when we save this, that is what you want to do. Let's go into the cat service where we have this for, and we are going to take off this. Now we are going to say that int let's say service count is equal to cat service, but we have to put this in. So let's cut this, and this must be an @ symbol. So in here we say int service count is equal to cat service dot count. Okay, then we are saying that if dot count is greater than 0, then we are going to use this cat service. If it's greater than 0, we're going to use this cat service, but else use 0. Okay, so we are saying that if the cat service dot count is greater than 0, then use this, the cat service dot count, else use 0 as a value for it. So let's see. Now this service count, let's copy this, and down here let's call the service count. Let's save this. Now let's test this and see if it's going to work, if it's going to get us the product we have in our product. So let's go to inspect element. Now the inspect element, when you go to our application, let's see what we have. Application, and currently the number of products we have here is what, 3. So we are expecting to see 3 here. When the page loads, we are expecting to see 3 here. Let's wait and see. So here it is 0. As soon as the page loads for the first time, it is 0, right? Okay, now the reason why it is 0 is, let's see what we can do. Let's go to this side and call the service here. So let's call the service and see. So int, let's say int, let's store this as, so service again, int service count product is equal to cat service dot count. Now let's see. So we have this as equal to 0. Now if service count is greater than 0, then we're going to replace it with this. Now let's replace this. Alright, so let's see 0. Now here is 0. Now you can see that you have int service count is equal to 0. Now this service count, let's copy this and let's declare this on top here. So int, okay, now service count equal to 0. And now let's use this service count and see. So let's use this service count here. Let's save this. Now let's wait and see what happens next. So as you can see, it is still not working, but what we can do here is we can decide to get the count here. So let's see, instead of using this service here, this is what we can do. We decide to get an await, okay, an await. Let's inject local storage here and see. So instead of this, we can inject local storage service and name it as local storage service. Now with this control plus period, let's use Blazor local storage. Now this local storage service, we copy this, and now here we say dot get item async. Then we can pass in list of my cat model, and now the name is what? My cats. So we grab this and let's put this in brackets as well. So when the page loads, we are going to get the data from the product. Okay, so let's use dot count method. Okay, so we store the value here as service count, and that's an integer, and we are calling local storage service dot get item, the list from the local storage. Okay, so we save this, and now let's see here. Let's wait for it to refresh and see the number of items that we're going to have here from our local storage. Okay, so let's see first. Now this is what you're going to do. Since so it is refreshed, let's wait for it to get refreshed. Okay, now let's go to the inspect, and now let's try to clear what we have there from it. So application, now let's clear this. So now let's start afresh and add. So I'm going to add this product, and as soon as I add one, see product added, see what happens here. Now we see one added. Now I'll go to the next one, then I'll go for this bag, then I'll add this. Now you can see here I've been added as 2. Okay, then I'll go and add the next one, then I'll click on this and I can add this, and it's going to be what? 3. Now when the page loads, let's see what happens when the page loads as well. So when the page loads here, you can see we have it at 0, but we have data in. So what can we do? Let's go to this, and now here when the page initializes, so there's a cat service you have issue here. Let's see where this cat service. So cat service is gone, so let's see. So inject cat service, then cat service. So okay, let's save this. Now we are saying if iCat service, so let's see, now we are getting service count is equal to this iCat service dot count, right? Now we are saying that if that count is greater than 0, then we want to use this cat service, else we check the cat service for this and now use that there. Now let's see, so we have 3. Now as soon as page loads, let's load the page again and see what we have. You see we still have 3. Now let's go in there and now add one more. So let's add this computer here, details, and we add this, making 4. Let's reload the page again and see what they're gonna have. It's still gonna have the same 4. You see 4 is over here. Alright, so you can see that we're able to add our cat service and we're able to display the cat on the screen. Now the next one that I'm going to talk about here is how to display the list of cat in the checkout view. Or if I click on the cat, if I click on this, I have to get a list of products that I have added to my cart. We'll talk about that in the next video. Okay, so let's go for a break. When we return, we're going to work on that as well. Hello guys, welcome back from break. Now in this video we are going to move up to displaying the product from your cart. So this is going to be a lesson 4. Okay, now let's create, as you can see from here, we have the button and an indicator here that displays the number of products that we have in a local storage. But if I click on this icon here, or this button, can I have the list of products displayed? Yes, we can, and that's what we know as get cart. So let's create a get cart in the service to render it to the component, so the user can see the number of products that has been added to cart. Now, so this is what we're going to do first. Let's go to the let's go to the main layout. So that's the main layout here. Now you can see with this button, let's add at on click button. So at on click, this on clicks equal to, so let's say navigate to whoa, so there is navigate to cart. Okay, now that is the method. Now let's create this method here. So private void, and this is, so when this is clicked, let's inject navigation manager on top here. So at inject navigation manager, and we call it as navigation manager. So let's call this navigation manager, and here we want to use the navigation manager dot navigate to, and now here let's pass in cart. Let's save this. So we're going to create a component known as cart, and now let's go to our pages, right click, and now go to add, and now let's add a razor component. This component, you're going to name this as what? Cart. So this are cart.razor. Now before you create this component, we have to also create a model to handle that cart for us. Okay, so let's see what we can do. We go to the models and create a cart model. So in that, we're going to specify the data that you want to receive and populate them and display them in the cart model or in the cart component. So let's say now here DTO, right click on this DTO, and now let's add, so add new class, and this class you're going to name this as cart. Okay, so cart model. Remember that the first one is my cart model and this is cart model. So let's say now this cart model, this public, now we want to have product ID. So this is product ID, and you want to have status string, and that is name, so product name. Also you want to have this is string, and that's going to be image. Let's have again. Now this is double, and this is going to be price. We have again, and this is quantity, so quantity. And what else again? We have name, we have image, you have price. Let's check with the product and see what we need here. So we have category, we don't need, we need what? Image, quantity, we don't need description, we need price, name and ID. Okay, aside from that, let's have another one. And now here this is going to be double, so this double, and we are going to need a subtotal. Okay, so this is what we need. Now let's save this. Let's go to the cat service, so control plus period. Let's remove all usings, unnecessary ones. Now in this cat razor component, you have to create it over here, but for now let's go to the cat service and I'll create get cat. Okay, so that is task, and now with this is going to be a list of, so we're going to have a list of cat model, and it is get cat. Now let's go in there, cat service, then control plus period. Let's implement the interface here, so let's hide this. Yes, so here this is what you're going to do. Now you're first going to get my cats. Okay, so var, let's use an await keyword, so my cat is equal to an await keyword, local storage dot get item async. Now there's going to be a list of my cats model, and the name is what? My cat. So that's we get it there. Now if my cat, so if my cat is not equal to null, then this is what you want to do. So here we have this model. Okay, we have the product ID and the user quantity in the person's local storage. So what you're going to do here is going to grab the ID of the product. We go to database, and now we fetch the information from that database and we populate it to the cat model that we have created. So let's say, now let's loop through. So for each, then var item in what? In my cat, you're going to create. Okay, so let's create, but before that let's create a var cat model is equal to new cat model. Now this new cat model, it must be a list, so this must be a list of cat model. Okay, I want this to be capital C here. So var item, now var, let's say model is equal to new cat model here. So this cat model, we are going to populate it here. Okay, now this cat model has a product ID, so this product ID is equal to item.product ID. Now this has quantity, so it's equal to this what we have here as item dot user quantity. Okay, then we have image, so Now with this image, before we do that, let's create a var product is equal to await. Then let's inject iProduct service here inside the constructor. So iProduct service so control plus period, let's create an assigned field as iProduct or product service. So var product is equal to await, then we call for product service dot so get product. Now you pass in item dot product ID. Okay, so we get a product here, so we can check if product is not equal to now. So if product is found, that is where you want to perform this operation. So let's cut this, and now in here we paste it. So we have quantity already. Now we have name, so name is equal to, then we go for product dot here single dot name. Then we have image is equal to product, so product dot single dot image. What again do we have? So we have name image. What again? Let's find out and see with the cat model. So product ID is the name image, then we're going for price, quantity, and a sub. So we need subtotal and what price. We have 4 set already. So 4 set already. Now we need price and subtotal. So we set price. So here we have to create a simple calculation here. Now price is equal to product dot single, okay, dot new price is not equal to 0, and the same product equal to 0 is not equal to 0, and the same product dot single dot new price is less than or less than product dot single dot original price. So we are saying that here, if new price is not equal to 0 and new price is less than the original price, meaning it has been reduced. Okay, so if so, what do you want to do? So if yes, okay, then you want to use product dot single dot new price, else then we are going to use product dot single dot original price. That is it. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Now let me set up this. We have, okay, so this is what we are using. So Control plus K and D, format this. So we are checking if new price is not equal to 0, and if new price is lesser than the original price, then use the new price, else use the original price. Then we go for subtotal. So subtotal is equal to, then this is what you're going to do. You're going to pass this. So let's copy all this here. So the price that we have, we put it into this bracket, then at the end here times, okay, user quantity. So you have user quantity here, so item dot user quantity to get the subtotal. All right, then we can close this up. So you can see that we grab only the product ID and the quantity from user. The rest we get them from the database. Yeah. So that is it. Let's save this. Now when we are done, we add a to. Let's add this. So if not got to now, then we can talk about my cat, or is it cat model? So cat model dot add, then we pass in this model. Okay, so we add this model to the cat. So it's going to look through and add all the necessary models to the cat. So we're going to have all the cat here. So now we have it here. Let's return this cat model. So let's copy this now here at the end, and that is this one. Okay, so here return this cat model, and that will be all. Okay, so we save this, and very simple thing that we done, get cat method. So let's go to let's go to the cat.razor, and now let's create our cat here. So first of all, let's inject. So inject cat service, and it is cat service. Okay, so let's go in the cat service. Let's see, loading suggestions. So let's add this. Okay, now let's create table. So first of all, we create our div and the class here. The class here, it is row. Now within that we have another div, and the class here, it is column md12. Okay, now we have our div, and the class that you want to use here is known as card. We have our div again, and the class that you want to use here, the class gonna be card header. So card header, we pass in my cat. Now when we have that, the next thing is we have our div class, and it is card. So let's put it in double quote, and that is card body. Okay, so this is card body. Now with this card body, let's see what we can do here. Let's create a table here, and this table, the class is known as table. So the class is table. We close this, we open it up here. Now we come to the bottom here, so table card body. Then let's have a div class, and here it is card footer. So here we can add a button here, so button class, and this class could be btn outline danger. We can have floats as end, and we can have span in it, and the class which is oi dash cat, and we can close this. So here we can write proceed to checkout. Okay, so that's going to be a button. Now inside the table here, we have table that is t head. Okay, we have a t head here. Now with this t head, maybe we can have a class, and this class is going to be bg primary. That is for the t head, and here we're going to have tr. So with this tr, let's see, the first T head that we're going to do here, it is image. So product image. The second T head is product name. No, here's supposed to be product ID. Then the next one, TH, is product name. Then let's say TH, we have product price. Okay, so TH. Then the next one, TH, is product quantity. Okay, and you have under TH as subtotal. Then let's see, TH, you can have accent. So you can have an action. Okay, so we have this actions. Now when we save this, we're going to have the title there. So let's wait and see. Let's see if it's going to refresh. Then when you click on this button, it's going to navigate to that page for us. So if I click on cat, you can see navigate to this cat. And let's wait and see the table that you're going to have. Alright, so product, nothing here much. Let's see. Now, okay, so we are not having the route here. That is why. So let's pass in route. And it is cut. Save this. Let's wait for a refresh to be done. So cut here, navigated to cut. Let's wait and see the table headers. Alright, so we are not seeing this cut. Let's see what's actually happening here. Now, local storage, we have no products, and there's a local host, a port, and the cat here. Now let's see, we have a cat as well, and that is a product that we are displaying, isn't it? So let's see. Let's see here. Let's paste again and see if cat is going to open the same place. Let's go to inspect element. So here it is rather opening, getting a cat detail, but it's not navigating to the component. Okay, so let's see here. Now main layout, navigate to cats. So if I click on this, navigation may navigate to this cat. Let's save this and see which one. Let's see what's going to happen here. So let's wait for a save to be done and a refresh. So let's see, align edit stuff. So this is what we're going to do first. Now we are going to, we have navigate to carts. Now when this is clicked, navigate to carts, to navigate to carts. Yeah, this is the correct thing to do, right? Now let's save this, and this is what we're going to do. Let's cut, and this is a cut. Okay, so let's highlight everything here. Let's cut this, save this. Now let's go to the cuts. Let's delete this. Now let's add a new one. Let's wait for the deleting to be done. Then we add a new cut and paste it there. So pages, right click, add result component. and this is cat. So cat.razor, control and paste it, save this. Now let's wait and see what's gonna happen here. Alright, so you can see now it is activated over here. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. Now you can see we have BG. Maybe you can decide to set the text as light. Okay, so let's set the text as light here. Now instead of BG primary, and we can now set text as white. So text white, and the font weight as bold as well. So let's see. Now it is saving it. So after it saves it, then we see what we can do here. So good. It is re-rendering. Now let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, so we see subtotal and product image, product ID, and etc. Now let's go in there and render the component here. So now in the card, aside from the card header, gonna have T body. That is table body. Now you have T row, and in the T row, this is what we are going to do. So let's see, let's have our at. Let's first call this a page initialize method. So now while we have our cat service injected, we have our first, we have our private list of cat model, then my cat model. Okay, so this list of cat model, and that's going to be cat model is equal to new list of cat model. Alright, so we have this control plus period, and let's see if we need to add any. Let's see, control plus period. Okay, so let's save this, and that's what we can do. We can now close this cat.razor, and now we can go in there and open it again. So let's see. Alright, that's what we need to do here. Okay, so it is now rendered, and now let's use an override and page initialize method async, and now here we are going to set cat model is equal to await, then we call the cat service dot get cat. So we're going to loop through this cat. So here we are going to say that in between this card, okay, with the card header, we're going to copy this. So from this area, there is a card. So here we are going to cut all this, and now we are saying if cat model, okay, is equal to null. If cat model is equal to null, then we can display cat is empty, else then we paste this. So control plus K and D, we format it well. Okay, so if it is not empty, if it is not null, then here we are going to loop through. So at for each, so var item in cat model, loop through this. So let's cut this td, that's a table row, and I paste it in here, control plus K and D. Now within table row we have first td, and that is a product image, so we go for an image. So and the source here is equal to at item dot image. Okay, so we can have it a class as, so that is card image top, and maybe rounded peel. Let's see if that's going to work. And you can have a style is equal to maybe width as 150 pixels, then height as 100 pixels. Then we can now close this image. Now the next thing that we are doing here is, so first TD, and the next one is what? Product ID. So TD, then at item dot product ID. The next one is product name. So TD, then at item dot name. The next one is price. So TD, then you can have at item dot price. So at item dot price. Now price dot toString. So let's format it into dot. So toString, and now here format into 0.00. That is a format. And maybe here we can add a CD sign, or we can even add a dollar sign, whatever that you want to add. If it is a CD sign, then we can add it from this touch keyboard and grab that. Okay, so let's see if possibly we can add a CD sign from this angle. So all language that you want to add, I think they are available here in this area. So you can grab that under this here, double click on this dollar sign, and you can see we have this CD sign as well. So you can grab that from here. After that, you can close it. Very simple way to get it. Now that is the price. You can have TD, and aside from price, you see we have quantity, and the quantity here is item dot quantity. And the next one is, after having quantity, you have subtotal. So TD, and that is TD. So quantity, we have total. So at item dot total. So item dot total. So subtotal, we also have to format the same thing to this string. We copy this, then we paste this, and that is a symbol that you want to use. So we copy this symbol, and now you paste it here, and that's all. Now we have this action. Okay, so this action, we create TD, and now inside here we create a button. So button, and the class here, it is btn none. So this btn none, you're going to use a span tag. So span, and the class, so we're going to use a span, and the class is equal to oi dot this pencil. Okay, and this is test info, that is to update it. And there you can copy the same thing here. Let's copy the same thing, and let's paste it here. And now instead of this info, let's use danger, and instead of pencil, we also use trash as delete. Now when this button is clicked, what do you want to go? Now this is, so let's use at on click. So when it is clicked, it has to handle update. So handle update, and now here we are passing in item dot product ID. So this is the callback method. So this is what we have to do. We cut this, we put it in bracket, and that bracket we point it to this callback method. Okay, so handle update, you pass in this product ID. Now the same thing applies to this. Now if I want to delete, this is what I can do. So let's copy the same thing from here, and let's paste it here, and here is handle delete. So handle delete, And now with this handle delete, we also pass in the same product ID. Okay, but this is going to be an async, and here is going to be an await keyword. Okay, so let's go and define this handle delete and handle update. So let's copy this. Now here, let's see what we have. Look at service. So here must be an async task. Okay, so private, there is an async task. So let's say this is handle update. Now this handle update is not going to be a task, but they're going to be void. Let's make it as void. And now this void, it is receiving an ID. So with this ID, let's see what's going to happen. So you're going to use navigation manager. So navigation manager. So we haven't, let's inject this navigation manager here as well. So at inject navigation manager, then let's set this as small letter navigation manager. So we can now copy this, and with this navigation manager, let's paste this dot navigate to, and that is product details slash, then you pass in this ID. So let's see, so you're going back to product details where you can add, you can update the product. So that is the ID, very simple. Now let's handle the delete. So with this delete, it's going to be, okay, so this is going to be under private, but it's going to be an async task, handle delete, and this is int ID as well. Now when it is clicked, this is what you want to do. We want to create, so bool and confirm is equal to let's see, await. Let's inject JS runtime over here because we want to ask question to confirm. So IJS runtime, and that's going to be JS. So let's confirm await JS dot invoke. So JS dot invoke async, and this is bool. Okay, now here we specify confirm, and now this is what you want to use. So are you sure you want to delete? Okay, so are you sure you want to delete? Then we can use this product. Okay, so maybe we can use this, or we can do this accepting product, and it can also accept what string name as well. So maybe you can do this. You can decide to pass in product ID and maybe item.name, so item.name as well. So 2 parameters. Now we are going to accept it here as name over here. Now this name, okay, so let's set this as nullable. Now there is item name, so we come down here and there is a name. So are you sure you want to delete? Then we can now use this. So are you sure you want to delete? We give a space, and now here you pass in name. Then at the end, let's have a question mark. So I just want to delete, then we pass in the name. Now we are storing it here, so we are confirming. So if confirm, meaning if true, then this is what you want to do. Okay, so else, then just return. That's all. So let's see. Now if true, then this is what you're going to do. Cat service, you have to create a remove cat service. So let's save this. Let's go to the cat service, and now here it's going to be task remove cat item, and now here we are going for product ID. So we're going for product ID. Now let's go to cart service. Let's implement the interface, Ctrl+, implement interface here. And now this is what. So first of all, let's get var my cart is equal to, let's see if you can get it from here. Let's copy this, and now let's use this here. Okay, so if my cart is not equal to now, then var product. Okay, so we are searching it from this ID. So var, if okay, it's just supposed to be an async. So if it's not equal to now, then var product is equal to, so my cart dot first or default, where p max to p dot product ID is equal to product ID coming in. Okay, so if product is not equal to now, then this is what you want to do. My cart dot remove this product. Then after removing, you want to set it there. So set my cart and display this. Or this is what you can do. You can copy this. Now here we paste this. So we set what? We store my cart here, and now we try to get this. So when we are done here, we can display message here. Okay, but instead of displaying message here, we can decide to stop that. And now in our cart razor, we call this await cart service dot remove cart item. We pass in this ID, product ID. When we are done with this, let's cut this and put this in a method known as, so private get cart data. Then we call this method here. So let's call this cart data. So this is private async task. Okay, so let's call this cart data here. So call this method here and use an await keyword, await here, and I'll call the same await cart data over here as well. Okay, so that is a simple thing, and that's also a beautiful thing that we are doing. Now let's save all this. Now let's try to navigate to our cart and see what's going to happen. So good, we have it even here. So that is our cart, because we have a product image, product ID, we have product name, we have quantity, subtotal. Okay, so this is subtotal, and we see we have what? Action here. So this is a subtotal that we have here. So this multiplied by 1, we have this. Now if I want to modify this, if I click here, you can see I can now increase this to 2. Now add to cart. Now you can see product updated. Now when I go to cart, you can see now it is now 2, and this times 2 is going to get you 689.99 times 2, going to get you this amount. Now what you have to do here, it is a stop grand total. Okay, so let's create a grand total for this. Now here, so let's see what we can do with our grand total. Let's go to carts. Okay, now in here you can see we have a tr. So at the end of the for loop, we also create another tr. So this is a tr, and you have a td. Now this td, let's see if you can have a row span. So row span is equal to 5. Well, let's see. So 1 2 3 4. This 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so 6 1. The row span is equal to 5. Then you want to have item, or you want to have cat model dot sum. So this sum maps to x is such that x dot subtotal. So add all subtotal and format it dot to string and 0.00. Okay, now close this, and you know the format that I want you to do here is the city sign. So copy this and add the cities. That's all. Now let's wait and see what's going to happen here. Alright, so you can see we have the amount here, but we can decide to pass it as grand total. So let's see, grand total, and that is the amount that you need to pay as the total amount. Okay, so we have TD, and at the TD you have a row over there. Okay, so you're going to have a grand total here with the amount. So when you add all these, you're going to have this. And in case I want to also delete this, is it possible? Let's see. Now I'm deleting the first one. Let's wait for the refresh to be done, then we see what we can do. So grand total is okay. Now there's a grand total amount, and you can see we have proceed to cart. Okay, so you can proceed to cart as well in case you want to buy that. So as you can see, now this is a grand total, but let's see if we can actually push it up to this little bit. So we are adding row, let's say row span, and this is not working here, but let's see what we can do. So row span is equal to, let's see, 4. And also let's go through with the delete. Now if I click on this, see what happens. So delete, I actually want to delete this on AC desktop ASM. Now what happens here? For the ID is 4, so wait and see. Now as soon as I click on that, now let's wait. Now it is reloading, that is why. So that product shouldn't be there anymore. Let's delete this and see. So are you sure you want to delete this? So yes, and you can see it is off. So that's the real time, right? Now you can go in there, let's see. Let's go there and add another product here. Let's add this hot red, and now we need 4. So add to cart, product added. Now you can see we have 3 left. Let's add this blue black, and maybe you want to buy 2. Let's add this. Now you can see it is added. You see we have 4 over here. Let's add 1 more, and you want this laptop. Let's add 2, and product added to cart. We have 5, so click on the cart. Okay, so you have the all list here. We have the grand total displayed here. Now if I click on proceed to checkout, that is where we're going to add a Stripe account so we can pay. Okay, so with the Stripe account, I think I'm going to do a video on it, maybe the next one, by not within this series. We're going to do that. So that is, now you can see we have our page worked correctly. Everything is intact. Categories and all styles are working perfectly for us. Alright, so far let me know what all that you want us to do again. Maybe consider that and try to update this as well. But for now, I am ending here. You know, e-commerce is very broad, and I'm not sure we can finish everything here. But for now, we've done almost 20, or is it 50%? Yeah, if you have any issue too, let us know, and we are there to assist you as well. Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope this is clear. Yep. And thank you for watching, for spending all this time with me, learning through these hard times. Yeah, yes, I understand. Okay, but for me to actually move on well, you can give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share and also comment in case you have any issue as well. Talk about it in the comment section. The source code of this also, I'm going to make it available there, so you can just go in there and grab it and implement it in yours. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Actually the next video is going to be a practical base, and it's a project base, so see you there.